Wanda with Jimmy Branch Homestead, and today I'm going to give you a spring garden tour. So today is April 7th. Tomorrow is the national eclipse, and we are in the path of totality. So we are a peak location. Lots of people come to our town. I'm staying away from town as much as I can. So first of all is our orchard, and we just put that in this spring. So if you're interested in seeing the video on that, please go to our playlist, and I'm going to kind of show you around. Okay, the first two trees over here are persimmons. We're not 100% sure if this small one has survived, but we're going to keep watering it just in case it comes out of it. It did have some dead branches on it, so we're thinking it might be dead, but I don't want to give up on it and then lose a chance that we might have saved it. And the second one is also a persimmons tree. You can grow persimmons from seed, but it takes forever for a persimmons to grow. I do have seeds in the house I'm trying to start, but even starting the seeds takes about a month for them to even germinate. So we'll see if I can even do that. Next up is the pears, and I think the first two here are Bartlett's. And the third one is a different kind I wanted to try. It was recommended by the nursery. It is a Moonglow pear. So we're going to try that. It too isn't looking great, but we're going to keep watering it. I do need to get out here and prune the trees, so that will be in a separate video when I get ready to do that. Next up are 3 harvester peaches. They were green and had buds all over them when we got them, and they went into shock. Hopefully they're going to come out of it, because you can see the bark, the tree itself is still alive on all of them. So hopefully they'll come out of it okay. Oh, I think I had that backwards. These are the harvester peaches. Let me look. Nope, Bella Georgia. These are Bella Georgia peaches. And these are the ones that really went into shock because they had buds all over them. But it looks like there's still some fresh buds coming, so we're hopeful. Again, I'm just going to keep watering them and hope for the best. We do expect some losses in the orchard. It's a brand new orchard. Like I said, we just planted it, but I am hopeful that most will live if we keep tending them and keep them watered. Next up, I have 2 small cherry trees. So it's going to be a long time before they really produce. These are Bing cherries for fresh eating. I do want to get some pie cherries and get those planted too. And as we move through the orchard, these last 2 in this row are plums. And then all the rest here, the last 8 are all apples, but they are different kinds. So we have a couple galas over there, and then this row is a Honeycrisp, a Golden Delicious, a Honeycrisp, and a Golden Delicious, because they help to pollinate each other. And then we also have a couple Granny Smiths, which are good pie apples. And the apple trees overall are looking good. They all have green leaves on them. So I'm very hopeful that all of them can make it. I do still need to stake the trees too. You can see in the wind, some of them are blowing over. Lots of work yet to do. Okay, I'll meet you in the big garden. So as I come in my back gate, it is between my 2 chicken coops. One coop is actually in the garden, fenced area. And to the right is what I have planted currently outside for my herbs. And these 3 chive buckets have been divided several times. I've sold several of them, so they will expand and really grow. Like you can see, this one had 4 plants in it, and they're all growing together. So they're going to seed. I really need to get these cut and freeze dried already. This is my new rosemary plant that I bought this year and planted. I had one for several years, and we had 30 below weather for a few days this last winter, and it finally killed it. And it's like, oh no. So I'll be very happy when we get this greenhouse done so that I can move my herbs inside in the winter and just protect them a little bit more. So as we walk down, the chicken coop is on the left. My greenhouse is in the middle. And the next area left to right is all berries. So before I get to that, on the other side of the greenhouse are raised beds. And the buckets here and the plants in the ground. The first cauliflower is the first section and the first 3 buckets. And I think 1 row in here. The rest here is cabbage. And the last 2 buckets are over there are cabbage. Then this is 9 plants of broccoli. And then this is wild garlic I transplanted in here last year. I'm still working on the watering system. I actually just finished it as is last night, and it's working pretty well. But I have to turn the water pressure down with these short runs of this tubing. It wants to blow them off. Now over there, with this type of watering system, because it comes up and has little sprayers, I need to have, and as many as there is, I have to have that half on full watering. So basically in between the 2 here, I have a T and a shut off for this one for when I'm watering this end, and a shut off for this one, this end, when I'm watering this end. So the 3rd raised bed, I still have to get it cleaned up, but this is going to be my asparagus bed. And they're planted in trenches, like I think 2 feet apart. So I really need to get this cleaned up and planted so I can start adding the soil back into the trenches as it grows. But this whole bed is going to be dedicated to my asparagus. And now that I'm thinking, I probably should have put them in that bed and had the other stuff in this bed that's annuals. But I am not moving everything. Okay, so that is the main stuff we've planted this year. Let's go look at some other things over here. Okay, so these first buckets here to here are all elderberry bushes. And I received starts from a couple different friends. 2 of these I rooted from cuttings, the tall skinny ones, and the others were starts that were veering off the big main plants of my other friend, and she brought them to me. We do a lot of trading. So over here is my strawberries. I sure hope you guys can hear me because it is a windy day. And you can see they're all blooming. I haven't got to this bed yet. They are not cleaned out. It's full of weeds. I'm going to have to break some of these apart because they're too close. And the ones that I break apart, I'm going to plant in towers. I have yet to decide where I'm going to place those towers, but they're going to be in towers. I'm thinking probably at the ends of these rows. But I will need to get like a big 4-foot stick of rebar, drill holes in the middle of them, and hammer it in the ground because as winds will blow it over otherwise. So that bed doesn't look as full. It's full of weeds, but I do need to still clean it up and possibly thin out over there a little bit. But we have some bare sides spots in the garden that I probably can just replant anything that I move within the bed. This will be the bed that I end up taking some from for the towers. This is plastic over here that I had over the cabbages and stuff when we had a hard frost a few days ago. It's too windy for me to try and fold up today. I did try to fold up one, so I'm waiting for my husband to be able to help me with that. And the only thing I have in our in-ground portion planted, hi Tippy, get out of there, is peas. So I have a couple different kinds of peas planted here, and I planted these back in February, so I'm really hoping that they come to fruition and I get a good harvest on them. So in the summer I am going to plant cucumbers on this row and climb them up this trellis here. So I've never done that before here. I've got another little section that I usually plant those in, but I've planted them there for 5 years, so I thought I probably should rotate them. If the peas are not done when I get ready to do the green beans will go in this row. Otherwise, I have to look at my plan. I can't remember what I had for that row. This row here will all be corn. This row will be half okra and the other half corn. And I do have some popcorn seed. I thought that would be fun to try. So I might do that half row in popcorn seed. And then this row here, kind of on a slant here, this is where I usually plant my vine type vegetables and fruits, vegetables. So I have planted squash here. I'm going to plant pumpkins and watermelon, I think, in this row. This row here, I just recently added the buckets here. These are all blueberries. Again, that is a separate video if you want to see how to plant bare root blueberries. And they are very acidic loving, so they get fertilized with like your azalea and rhododendron type foods. This raised bed over here, I need to get that back up there on the nail. But this bed here is also blueberries. These first 4 plants were actually 8-inch potted plants. And this one isn't looking so good, so I'm not sure it went into shock or something, but it does have new buds on it, so I'm hoping that it is still going to come back. And this one has got lots of leaves on it. And this one's the same. So this one and the one on the end are the same type. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. So I'll have to go back and watch my video and remember what I put where, because I didn't get those labeled because I forgot what I put where. And then this one is like that one down there that's all leafy. And look at that. I got lots and lots of blossoms on it. So this one was a bare root Blu-ray. This one is a Blu-ray. And I planted that this spring. And this was a bare root I planted last year. And it's not looking so good. So I'm hoping it's a Patriot. I did feed these, so I'm hoping it can snap out of a lot of it. And I know raised beds is not ideal for blueberries, but I really didn't have any place else to plant them. Next up in this row is my blackberries. And I have cleaned out all these beds and taken care of them for this spring. So all of the old canes from last year have been removed. And except for this one, I need to cut it back. I keep forgetting to bring clippers out here to do that. But they're tied up on these wires. And what that does is it makes it so much easier. First of all, if I didn't tie them up, they're all out here this spring in the walkway and trying to grow through into the blueberries and vice versa. So you can see here I've got a new one really coming out here. I'm going to have to come back and tie this so it goes down instead of up to the roof here. I do have shade cloth over the top of everything because it gets so hot here that it often just dries everything out way too fast. And it seems to do great. Last year this bed was great. They do multiply, and like this is one plant where it comes up with multiple canes. So that is normal. And then these are little transplants that I planted in here last year. So you can see they're coming up pretty good. They'll have a few berries on them this year. Not a ton, but they will have a few. And then these are ones that I transplanted this spring. They're not looking so great, but they do have green on them. Like this one has green coming up from the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that right here. And this one does too. And here is a shoot coming up. So again, I probably won't get berries off these this year. I could off this one because it's a little bit bigger, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's what I do with those every spring, and I also feed them as well. And then I add, depending on how much the dirt settles, if I have to add dirt, but I also add mulch. And the mulch helps to keep the moisture in. So because it is in raised beds, I have to water often. This is my automatic watering system. I used to hand water all this stuff. And every year I'm coming up with more watering systems. So this over here in the old dog kennel, this is my raspberries. Again, they're getting very prolific. So they're just really producers. And they also keep growing up. So when I get to the other side, I might as well go over there. But see, it's got watering system too. And because it's in a raised bed and they're so thick, I kind of put them on each side to make sure the stuff gets watered. Now this doesn't have the bark in it yet. I do need to come back and finish it. I started it over there, but I haven't finished it. I had to add soil to all of these and then, like I said, break them apart. Ones that were like trying to grow up into the fence or right along the wood here, those are the ones I dug up. If they were in the middle or to the front, they're fine because it's easier to train them to the wires. Oh, I can't go out this way. Oh yeah, I can. No, yeah, I won't. Okay, so I got to come out this other way because this is bird netting. We had this bird netting on the raspberries before I planted the blackberries over here. So the raspberries and the blackberries have been here, I guess, 3 years. And most of the blueberries I just planted this spring. This is the stacking pots that I got for the strawberries. So they'll stack like this, and then they go alternate. So, and I'll do them up about 4 feet. So I think I figured 8 to a tower. But I still have to drill the holes in the bottom for drainage and that kind of thing. Okay, these two here are mulberry trees that my husband got from a friend. She cut them off her mulberry bush, and then I dipped them in Ritone and planted them. So we're still hoping that they make it. You know, if not, we're not out money, but it would be nice to add to our homestead. And this over here is all raspberries that I took out of my raspberry cage there. So I'm considering doing another row or extending the blueberry row on down and adding raspberries. Because I like them. I freeze dry them. They're great on my cereal. Is my favorite way to eat them. And of course fresh, just on anything. And then a few of these, I need to make sure, that they're live and thriving, because I just did this recently. So once a month we have a ladies' homestead meeting, and I'll be able to either sell or trade for different things they have there. So that's my weed bucket. I still have a lot of cleanup to do. I need to clean up leaves. There's leaves on the back, and my husband just recently got this leaf mulcher that basically fits over this green bucket. Right now he's got it covered, so I'm not going to uncover it. But it's electric, and you just put this under it, throw the leaves in, and it mulches up nice. So it makes it even easier to use for my composting bin. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video of my garden tour. If so, please like, subscribe, and share us on your social media. It's the best way that you can help us to grow our channel. Thank you so much for watching Jimmy Branch Homestead.